Good morning, my name's Kerry Duval. I am the Warrior Queen. Welcome to another episode.
Hello. I thought, you know what? Instead of Kerry making an introduction all the time, I'm going to do it. So I've now overruled, as they say, the Queen. So here we go. Bring on the audience with the king, shall I say. See you soon. And welcome back.
You used my own trick against me.
I know. Well, the thing is, guys, Kerry's been whinging and mourning non-stop, as she always does, that she wants someone to take over her show. So she expected a week off, as they say, but you can't have time off from here. So welcome to an audience with the king, shall I say.
No, it's still an audience with the Queen. It's just you're taking over.
No. I should have had a king crown in the background, maybe. Who knows?
Oh, well.
But yes, please, everyone, like, comment, subscribe, whatever you do, what you do. Today, we're not just getting Kerry's story out here, but we're also going to talk a little bit about confidence. And I know Kerry has been struggling a lot with her confidence, to where it was actually non-existent, to her having a little bit, then setbacks, and now she's here, exposing herself to the universe. Hello, Vicky Simmers. How are you? Please share this in awareness, because we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of Miss Duval here. So, Kerry.
Fire away.
Pineapple doesn't belong on pizzas, does it?
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Stop stealing my question.
It's my show, not yours. Right. I want to talk about how you were with your life, starting off with the fact that you was in Darwin, you was abused. So I'm going to give you the platform and you elaborate.
Right, okay. I don't know what it means about elaborate, so here goes. My name's Kerry. Growing up, I was suffered through years of bullying at school, and then when I went home, I was abused at home. So I didn't have a very good childhood. Literally, the only good thing I had to start with was going to see my nana. My nana was my female role model in my life. She was absolutely amazing. She was more than just a nana to me. She was more than a mum to me. And it broke my heart a few years ago when she sadly passed away because of cancer. The other escape I had was going down to Liverpool to see my granddad at the weekends. And then my mum and dad separated and my dad moved down to Liverpool. So it was a bit like I was played past the parcel with, basically, between my mum and my dad. I didn't enjoy it. Being in Liverpool, absolutely loved it. But the journeys from where I am to Liverpool and then back on the Sundays, didn't enjoy them. I didn't like them. Then we moved down to Liverpool and I loved it. And the day that I got off the bus and my mum said to me, we're moving back, I cried all the way back here. I didn't want to come back. Didn't like the town, didn't want to go back to my old school. I was enjoying life. Enjoying my new life, basically. I met Adam and no, my confidence wasn't as high as it is now. I was really low. I hated the camera. I hated being in front of a camera. I didn't like having my picture taken or anything. My mental health was really, really low. And I learned to deal with that, deal with the fact that I'll always be in Adam's shadow, basically. That's how I felt for a long time. Then we had Lucas and then Tegan. And then when we did lose my nana 3 years ago, my mental health suffered. It suffered a lot, to the point I was on the kitchen floor wanting to end everything. I didn't care about anything or anyone. I just wanted to go back to my nana. And Adam saved my life. And through Adam doing his mental health training, he really, really helped me get to where I am right now, because he taught me the first little bits of self-care and basically got me onto this journey, becoming the warrior queen that I am right now. And the rest is history. Adam?
History. Yeah, it's a tough one, because obviously you were bullied throughout your, growing up life. You speak to those bullies. Well, they're trying to talk to you. Yeah. So what's your perception on that?
Well, the people that have spoken to me that were horrible to me in school, I've basically shut them down straight away and said I'm not interested. You know, I'm not the same person I was back then. I've come on leaps and bounds since then. And it doesn't matter what they say to me, because it's not going to hurt me anymore. The words did hurt me in the past. They're not hurting me anymore.
Yeah, I know. So, Liverpool, do you still see that as home?
Yeah.
So what are you doing in Darwin then?
Well, the kids have got the schools here.
Don't make a difference. That's excuses.
It's not. The kids have got the schools here. I don't want to upset their education. So, in the best interests of our children, not upsetting their education, Tegan's mental health has taken a dip.
Yeah.
You know, and we've only just got it back up. So I don't want to take a dip again by going to a different school. I'd rather not. So maybe in the future we will go and live in Liverpool. Who knows?
Right, I want to talk a little bit about your granddad.
Go on.
Of how he inspired you to become this shopaholic, which I can't keep up with.
Go on.
Obviously, I remember you telling me that it took a while for you to actually meet him for the very first time, because of reasons we won't go into. But what was your mindset when you first was on that journey to go and meet him for the first time?
That's a good question, actually.
I know.
I think it was the only thing I'd ever heard about my granddad was he wasn't a very good dad. He wasn't around a lot growing up because he was always away working. He was a coach driver, so he would spend 5-6 days of the week travelling up and down the country, driving people around in his coach. And obviously sometimes he would have to do stayovers depending on where he was travelling to. So obviously he wasn't around a lot, and my grandma did a lot for my dad and his brothers and sisters. So the things I had heard from him when he was around was he liked a fag, he liked to drink, and he was very strict with my dad and his brothers and sisters growing up. But that day it was, right, okay, let's see what sort of a granddad he's going to be. The only memory I had of him was a brief meeting when my grandma passed away, and I was 6 when she passed away. So I only met him briefly on that day, and I only have brief memories of that. So I didn't have a lot to go off. So it was just a case of, let's see how things go. Let's see what sort of granddad he is. And luckily he turned out to be an absolutely brilliant granddad.
Yeah, absolutely. So, right, how do I say this? Because you've told me many times you saw your dad as a role model. So in a way, would you have seen both your nana and your granddad as role models over your parents?
Yeah, my nan. Well, the people in my life after my grandma passed away were my dad, my granddad, and my nana. They were the three most influential people of my life.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot about the values I hold now from my granddad and my dad, because obviously my granddad passed them down to my dad passed them to me.
One of them was stubbornness, by the way. Yeah.
No, I got the stubbornness off my nana.
Yeah.
I got the stubbornness off my nana. No, well, she didn't have a very good married life.
No.
My mum's dad left her. I've never called my mum's dad granddad. He's never been that to me.
Okay.
You know, even though biologically he is, he's never been that person to me. He's always been my mum's dad. That's always that's our, and I've never ever met him, so I don't have an opinion of him. But basically, yeah, it was my nana and my mum's dad didn't have a very good marriage. He left, so she had to literally go from being a married woman to being a single mum with the kids on her own overnight, and she'd had to deal with it and all the struggles that she would have had to go through. You know, I mean, one of them was disabled, you know, and I mean properly disabled. He cannot speak. He's basically a child in an adult's body. He was severely disabled. I don't quite know what disability it is, so I can't speculate, but he's basically a child in an adult's body. And I don't fully understand everything because I wasn't told a lot about him. I don't have a relationship with him because my nana basically kept us away from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And basically we grew up going to my nana's house, sitting down as a little bit of a family. There was me, my sisters, and my brother, and my nana sat round a little a foldable picnic table in the middle of her living room, watching whatever film she'd put on. It was always a Disney film. We'd have a sing-along to the songs that were in them, and we'd always have a really good homemade meal in front of us, and we loved it. Easter, that she'd spoil us. Christmas, she'd spoil us. Our birthdays, she'd spoil us, even though we told her to not do it. She still wouldn't listen, and she was stubborn to the very, very end, and she taught us to be strong women, and that's where I got it from.
Yeah, exactly. Right. This fascination for shopping.
Go on.
I don't even know where to go with that one, because it's like it's tradition where it's gone from your granddad to you. Now you're teaching it to Tegan.
Yeah. No, my granddad had this thing was if he likes it and wanted it, he'd buy it. So you see it, you like it, you get it. And because I spent a lot of time around him, and because, you know, I was a teenager and he basically had this unlimited amount of money. You know, he would literally have wads of cash in his little, it was like a little man bag, because obviously he was confined to an electric wheelchair. We called it his chariot. You know, he had a little man bag around his waist, and it was basically, he had wads of cash in there, and he would just he would think nothing of spending 20 quid on a phone that he didn't use. I mean, he bought this old-fashioned landline phone where you pick it up and it's literally, it comes round like that and then goes up a little bit, so you can hold it like that, and it's right, really posh and modern sort of thing. But it was like, and he couldn't hear it, so he literally used it for a day and then gave it to me because he decided he didn't want it. Literally just like that. Instead of taking it back, he's like, I've thrown the receipt away, you have it. Literally. You know, he didn't care. He's just like, well, I can't take it with me, so I might as well have fun spending it. So that's what he did. He spent it, you know, and he'd always buy us watches. And so obviously when he passed away, we found a box full of boxes that just needed new batteries. But instead of actually going out and getting a new battery, he'd just buy a new watch. He was that sort of person, you know, and I've learned a lot from that, because if the Hoover breaks, instead of fixing it, I'll just go buy a new one.
Yeah, you will. The amount of collections of Hoovers we've had over the years.
well, at least the house is clean.
You want another Hoover? Even though the one we've got now works perfectly, you still want a new one.
Yeah, but it means lunging it up and down the stairs. So if we had a lighter one that was downstairs, I could just whip round the living room with it.
Right. Moving on,
Go
I
on.
want to touch on confidence.
Go on.
To you, what is confidence?
Confidence is the ability to get in front of a camera and tell my story and have a picture taken.
Okay. Then what
That's
is it?
me.
What is it to you away from the camera?
Being able to pick up the phone and have a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
Being able to text somebody. Being able to start a conversation on Facebook. That sort of thing. I might be wrong, but you know.
There's no wrong answer.
Fair enough.
But either way, right. Touch on the when you never had any confidence, and then obviously this was before me. My identity was unveiled, shall I say?
It was literally go to school, be bullied all day long, come home, be abused, be told I was a mistake, and I was an unwanted, unloved mistake. Having to be the thing between my mum and dad whenever they argued. And having to just deal with that cycle for God knows how long. So I didn't feel like I had my own identity. I didn't feel like I had any confidence at all. There was never any pictures of me going through those years because I just wouldn't let them. Whenever I tried taking the pictures, it was always I'd hide myself behind something because you could literally only see this part of me because I hated my body.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was called horrible names growing up, and it has affected me a lot.
Yeah.
So the pictures that do exist are very rare. I don't even have copies of them anymore. I don't know what's happened to them over the years. So yeah.
So hello Liliana, hope you're well. Please share this in awareness. So clearly you was body conscious back then. Would you say you are now?
No.
No?
No. Yes, I admit I'm not the ideal weight, but I've got 2 kids. I don't care. You know, it's one of them. I'm a mum, I'm a wife. As long as my kids are happy and the house is clean and everything is dealt with, I don't care.
Yeah, exactly what Liliana says. She's hope you're healed and you are beautiful.
I am healing, and thank you.
Yeah. So, when did you realise, right, it's time to put away, shut that book of no confidence and start saying, right, I need to start rebuilding?
When I had the suicide attempt. When I attempted suicide after my nana died, and you stopped me, you started talking to me. Basically, you turned off the partner side, and you basically switched into the coach.
Yeah.
And you basically became a coach. And I kept looking at your tattoo. My story isn't over yet.
Yeah.
And I basically kept saying that in my head. My story is not over yet. So I knew then that I had to deal with what I hadn't dealt with from my past. And that moving forward, I would have to deal with all that. And there are ways that I can deal with that in my own time. And it wasn't going to be an easy time, but I would do it. and I'm glad I've done it. And then joining the Warriors, coming in front of a camera, meeting all the amazing people I've met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously, as Leanne said, she clearly wants to work with you, which is brilliant. Yeah. So obviously, I'll connect you both, and as Vicky said, your story's just begun. Well, not really, because your story began when you was born.
I think this chapter of my life begun when I attempted suicide.
Yeah.
But then I'm still going through this chapter of my life. But yeah, my
Well, as
story's
you,
ongoing.
well, as you said when you had Lorraine Harris on, obviously you were saying that you was 20-something years old and your story's just begun, and you're like, no, it didn't, because your story began when you arrived.
Well, yeah. You know, I've been through all the bad patch now. Now I can start enjoying my life.
Exactly. So yeah. So what's now? What's next?
Well, right now I'm obviously doing my mental health level 3. I've just passed unit 2.
With help.
So the next chapter is obviously finishing my level 3, getting units 3, 4, and 5 done, and getting that qualification. Yeah. And then I don't know what's next. Yeah. Start work, start helping more people.
Is an author inside you gonna come out?
Maybe. Thinking about it. Thinking about writing down what I went through. Writing down how I changed my life. I think the doubt's still in my head, but no one would read it. And that's one of the things that's holding me back at the moment, because I still have that little thing in my head telling me no one would be interested, no one would read it.
Never say never.
I suppose that's a little thing I'm going to have to deal with first.
Exactly. And yeah, and as I said yesterday, you've got to question living adversity or living resilience.
Yeah. You know, and then this morning we were listening to the Warrior mentality. You know, I can, I will, I must. And I've told myself I can change my life, I will change my life, I must change my life. I'm a warrior. Warriors don't give up.
Nah. And obviously there's another one which says, if you're constantly living in failure, believe in failure, you'll never achieve success. Or never experience success. Exactly. What's your words? They're very powerful right there.
Yeah. You know, I can do it, I will do it, I must do it. I'm a warrior, and warriors don't give up. You know what? And that's one of the things I want. That's why one of the reasons why I want to read it. Write it, because I'm hoping that there might be a similar little girl or young boy, you know, out there going through bullying at school, going through abuse at home, and to be able to read something from a person who's been there, but then gone on to change their life, might just inspire them to say, yeah, I'm going through the crap now, but all this crap I'm going through now is getting me ready for the life I'm going to have when you're an adult.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, I'm going back to that saying from Karen Unruh, we have to go through shit to grow. Well, that's the shit I went through. Now I'm growing into the person I am now.
Exactly. Yeah, we're all a seed. By writing, you will be able to let your feelings out and start healing. That's it. You're letting go of that unwanted energy.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing now. I mean, I've distanced myself from my mum.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. No, well, obviously my mum was in and out of my life. Well, growing up, she was in my life. But then when I obviously started a relationship with you and moved out and we started our adult lives together, I've always had like a mixed relationship with my mum. 1 minute she's in my life, then she's out of my life, then she's in, then she's out. And it's that sort of thing. Whereas now it's, no, I've had enough. Get out of my life. I don't need you. I don't need the toxic and the drama in my life. You know, I'm better off without it, sort of thing. I mean, she's a narcissist, and my niece is basically being trained to be a narcissist by her. You know, that's the sad truth. you know, my mum's a narcissist and she's training my niece to be a narcissist, and my dad's still trapped in that marriage. I've had to pull myself away because, as sad as it is to pull myself away from my dad, I feel like if I'd make this step now, it might give my dad the courage to make the step, to pull himself away from that toxic marriage.
I know.
You know, I'm sorry to say it, but that family, the only good person in that family was my nana. And obviously she's not here, no longer with us anymore. She's in paradise now, enjoying paradise. You know?
Teases us with burnt toast.
She constantly reminds us that she is still around because we smell toast at funny times of the days when there's not even bread in the house. Yeah. We didn't even have a loaf of bread the other day to make toast before we went out shopping, and there was a smell of toast in the air, and it was like, I know my nana's around me. She's in her own little way, she's telling me you need bread.
Yeah, it'd be a matter of time before I start smelling Pringles.
Yeah, that was true. She always had red Pringles for you, didn't she?
She did. She loved me. Yeah, and obviously, as Liliana says, she won't charge you, but she wants to give you one simple exercise which you can do every single day.
I'd love that, yeah.
So yeah, after this, Liliana, I will connect you with Kerry, and you can go from there. Yeah. I lived with one. We are mirrors. The only light and love. The rest is human form. We play the characters that we want, and it's always the soul behind the mask.
Yeah. No, well, obviously now she's not in my life. I've pushed her out, distanced myself from her. As sad as it is that I've had to distance myself from my dad, yeah. I'm hoping that having that distance will make him realise that, right, okay, well, if my daughter can do it and start a better life and have a better life away from her, hopefully he can make that same journey, knowing that I will support him through that.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, Richard. Hope you're well. Please share this in awareness. Right. So would you say at this very present 2022, do you have that mask on?
Some days, yeah.
Okay.
Some days, yeah.
It's fine.
Like yesterday. I don't know what happened. I started the day and I was fine. But then I just sort of sank and I didn't want to leave the house. You know, even going out to get the cat last night, I wouldn't go near the garden gate. No. I literally got to the garden gate and I froze. I don't know why.
Yeah, exactly.
But then last night I sort of perked up a little bit and we were having a bit of a laugh, weren't we?
Yeah.
And then this morning I feel fine. I'm doing this. So it's one of them. You know, even though I am a warrior and I'm fighting and healing and that, I'm still gonna have those down days where it's like a reminder to me that yeah, I'm up, I'm fine, I feel fine, everything like that. But my mental health is still with me. It's still a part of who I am. Thanks, Lillian. Thank you. You're going to set me off. Stop it.
Oh, well, tears show strength.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and I believe there will be people out there that would help you write this book. Obviously, I will. But, yeah. As tempting it is to actually get involved and do a bit of a chapter on my own, but I'm like, no, this is all about you. Yeah, this is you.
No, well, obviously, I will be including the Mental Health Warriors in that book because the Mental Health Warriors is a big part of how I've come from feeling like I'm in your shadow to being in my own light. Basically, it's like you're in the spotlight. I was behind in the shadows in the dark. That's how I felt for a long time, and now I've got my own spotlight. I am me.
Exactly.
So, the Mental Health Warriors has helped me have that. So obviously the Mental Health Warriors will be mentioned quite a lot in it.
Good. Good. Right. Grateful heart, a magnet for miracles. That's so beautiful. There you go. There you go. And again, please share this all in awareness. We need to get Kerry's story heard. And yeah, please like, comment, follow, subscribe. You do what you need to do. And yeah, if there's any last words, Kerry.
Join me next week where I get back in the hosting seat of my own show for Audience with the Queen special, and I've got another amazing guest lined up.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go. Obviously, that's next week, but we have got another podcast today when Annette Chiappi will be back at 6 p.m. UK.
Yep.
I can't remember her guest, but tune in.
Yep.
Right. That's all.
Bye.